Today I'm ranking all my Snif fragrances from least liked to most loved. We're going to be going through my entire collection of 7 Snif fragrances, and I'm going to be giving you the rundown of what I like about the perfumes, what I wear the most, and what I'd recommend these fragrances for. So if you're interested, definitely do keep on watching, but if this is your first time on this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here every weekday, Monday through Friday. I also publish additional content on other social media platforms under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES, and I do host a podcast called The Fragrance Report. We have a new episode every Wednesday, and I publish full-length episodes on this YouTube channel every Wednesday as well. So when it comes to Snif, I recently became a Snif affiliate, but I've been aware of Snif for a really long time now. What's always stood out to me is the fact that they have some really affordable pricing when it comes to their options. Each fragrance is priced at around $60 a piece, which is wonderful, and they also do have travel sizes available for around $20. But what I really do think stands out to me when it comes to Snif as a brand is the fact that they are not afraid to experiment and be really innovative when it comes to their notes and scent profiles. A lot of times, fragrances at that price point are typically a little bit cookie cutter. They don't really push the envelope as much, but I think that Snif is one of the exceptions when it comes to that. They really manage to come out with some unique and interesting scent profiles to the point that in a collection that I've accumulated that has a lot of niche fragrances, I find myself reaching for a lot of Snif fragrances over my more expensive options, specifically because of the scent profile and how much I'm drawn to that. So I'm excited to share these fragrances in this video with you here today. I do have a code available with Snif. It's Anya10 if you want to save a little bit of money. You don't have to use that code, obviously, but I just wanted to put that out there if you're interested in saving some money. And just so you know, I did originally pick all these fragrances that were sent to me. Not all these fragrances were sent to me. The majority of them were because they happened to be really generous with their PR packages. But I did originally pick all these fragrances that were sent, and I had my ideas of what I wanted, but then I had a chance to sniff through more of their fragrances, and I was even more surprised at their scent profiles because I had some expectations about some of their scent profiles, but those expectations were totally different from the reality of my experience. So I'm going to be talking about those fragrances as well, but just so you know, even though I'm ranking these fragrances, this is just my personal preference. So while I do like all of them, I do tend to wear some more than others, and I'm going to be explaining all of that in this video as well. So just to keep things spicy, I'm going to go from least worn to most worn Snif fragrances. And of course, keep in mind, this is my general preference. I do wear fragrance every day. So what I go for will depend on what my mood and what I prefer at that point. So this is all just my opinion, but I am going to be giving you objective overviews of all these fragrances and what they smell like. But I would say my least worn Snif fragrance at this point is House of 8. And this is actually a really interesting gourmand chocolate fragrance. So while it's not a fragrance that I wear myself on a regular basis, I do think it's worth noting because this perfume actually does contain notes of chocolate and lavender. And I don't think I've ever seen, well, probably not seen many fragrances on the market that combine aromatics with gourmands in that way. So House of 8 opens with this kind of like melted dark chocolate accord, but then it dries down and you get more of that lavender, you get more of those aromatics that come through. This is a really good unisex gourmand fragrance if you want something that leans a little bit more masculine but still retains that gourmand quality with the chocolate. This is a really good option, and it's one of the more unique chocolate fragrances that I personally have encountered. This fragrance also features notes of iris, sage, vanilla, heliotrope, and sandalwood in addition to the chocolate and the lavender. But me personally, I get the chocolate in the opening. It kind of smells like a melting dark chocolate, and then the aromatics come through as it dries down. So next up, I have a fragrance that I really loved when I first got it, and I honestly haven't been wearing it as much, but I still do think it's a good one. This is Naughty Nona by Snif, and keep in mind, I really love this. If you're looking for a kind of like sugary vanilla perfume, what I like about this is that it takes that kind of like vanilla, but it does something more unique and special with it. There's also candied orange, candied ginger in here, and that really adds to a unique factor. But personally, right now in my day-to-day, I'm not really wearing a lot of hyper-realistic gourmands, so that's why this perfume is being ranked the way it is. If you're looking for like an iced, hyper-realistic, sweet, like iced as an icing vanilla perfume, this is really good, but I just haven't been wearing it as much, so that's why this is ranked the way it is. But I really do love it. It's like one of those more unique vanilla fragrances. So I would say if you're looking for a special vanilla, this is really good. Next up, I would say Creme Couture is kind of also neck to neck with this. And I love both of these fragrances. I think they're really cool and interesting, but genuinely, I don't wear them as much as some of the other ones I'm about to show you. So that's just where I'm at. But Creme Couture essentially smells like blueberry flavoring with like a flaky croissant. It smells so good. Like it literally smells delicious. If there's a candle with this, like with this scent, I would snap it up immediately. This smells delicious. Like if you're looking for a hyper realistic gourmand, this is beautiful, but I just haven't been wearing these as much because that's just where my mind is at. I'm not really wearing a lot of gourmands at the moment, so that's why I'm ranking these the way I'm ranking them. So next up is a really interesting one. This is Honey Sweet. This was created in collaboration with Amelia. This is her second fragrance with Snif, and she's also known as Professor Perfume online. But I tried Honey Sweet and I love this. Like this smells like a light touch of honey with some florals. It has notes of crystallized honey, broom absolute, lavender flower, incense, Havana wood, and vanilla. This smells delicious. It smells like a slight light touch of honey. And I definitely do get like that crystallized aspect. I just lost one of my earrings. I definitely do get the crystallized honey accord. It smells delicious. It's like a light touch of honey. It's definitely a bit of a more moderate performer, but it's one of those perfumes that just smells comforting. This is like easily an everyday friendly fragrance. You can just spray this on and not have to worry about it. To be completely honest with you, I think I really should be wearing Wow Factor more often because it's one of those comforting scents. I can picture myself wearing it on a regular basis. I just haven't been wearing this fragrance as much as some of the other perfumes from Snif, but I really do think I should get into this fragrance a little bit more because it's a beautiful perfume. So next up, I have my third favorite fragrance from Snif. This is one of their newer fragrances. This is Me. And I love this perfume. And it's interesting because I usually don't go for scent profiles like this, but not gonna lie, this has been one of my go-to fragrances since I got this fragrance. I've been loving it. It's like a unique take on a peach fragrance. It has peach skin, plum, but it also has a really prominent kind of like musky accord to it that I really enjoy. So this fragrance has notes of peach, skin, and plum at the top, a mid of orris and caramel, and then a base of moss, sandalwood, and organox. And this perfume literally is one of those like comforting musky perfumes. It's like, kind of like a your skin but better scent, but there's like another layer to it. You also smell like you smell the woods, you smell the peach skin, you smell the plum. The peach skin to me like lasts a little bit longer with the fragrance. The plum doesn't stay with me as long as the peach skin does, but to simplify it, this fragrance just has like a muskiness to it with peach skin. It's really quite beautiful, and this has been one of my most worn fragrances since I got it, and look at this dent. Yeah, look at this dent. I was telling you at the beginning of this video, I have some dents in this video, and the dents are coming up because I've been wearing this fragrance like nonstop. It's so, so good. I just wore it last night. It was like one of those fragrances that I just sprayed on, and it was like, it's one of those fragrances that's like not super loud, but it stays on, you know, and it's like a very cozy, comforting scent. I really love this. Like, this is really good. And it's usually not a scent profile that I would go for, but that's the thing with Snif. Not gonna lie, some of their fragrances, like I saw the notes and I wasn't expecting to love them as much, but then I started wearing them and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much addicted. So Me is one of those fragrances. Like I previously have not really been drawn to this kind of like clean girl, musky scent profile, but with this fragrance, I'm addicted. Okay, so next is honestly a fragrance that I've been loving for a really long time now. It's been over a year since I got this fragrance, and I've been loving it for ages. This is Wow Factor by Snif. This is a fragrance that I have obviously loved, but this is actually one of the very first green fragrances I tried and fell in love with. Prior to getting this fragrance, I never really liked green fragrances. I was almost like very avoidant of them. I was never someone that really loved green smelling scents. But this fragrance changed my mind so much. So let me get the notes for you. So this fragrance has notes of fig, mandarin orange, and galbanum, a mid of neroli, rose, and orris, and then a base of cedarwood, ambrette, and tonka bean. This smells so good. It smells like a luxurious green fragrance, and this is one of those scents that is like really baffling to me that this is like $65 because who would know? Like this is such an intriguing fragrance. It's a complex soapy fig perfume with green notes, yes, but some florals to balance it out. It's a beautiful fragrance. Like I love this scent, and you can tell how much I love it. I've been wearing this scent for such a long time now, and it's one of my favorite green scents of all time. Next, I have my number one Snif fragrance. This is my favorite one that I have tried from their line, and as you can see, I have so many fragrances to choose from, but to be quite honest with you, this is my number one. Golden Ticket by Snif. Iconic, so good, and I got this about a month ago. Do you want to see the dent? Look at this dent. Look at this. I have been wearing this so much, it's almost half gone. I love this perfume. Like I love this perfume. I wear it all the time. The longevity of this is superior. It's really impressive. It's a black tea and green tea fragrance, I believe. So yeah, this has black tea, green tea, mate, bergamot, sage, incense, amber, and vetiver. The way I wear this fragrance constantly, like this has honestly also become my go-to office fragrance because I go in really early in the morning when I go into the office, and then I come back like pretty late at night. So I need something that will last me all day, but I also don't want anything that's going to be too loud because I am working in the office on my office days, and I don't want to offend anyone with my fragrance. So when I'm going in, I want something that has longevity, but I don't want anything that's like loud, you know? This one stays on my skin all day. It's not offensive. It's one of those moderate performers that just lasts all day. I love this perfume, and the tea fragrance notes here really are so comforting to me, and I just love it. I love this perfume, and you can tell how much I love it because I have been going through this fragrance. And at the beginning of this video, I talked about how so many of Snif fragrances are perfumes that I genuinely choose to wear over my more expensive fragrances, and these top three very much are prime examples of that because I have so many fragrances in my collection at this point that it's just a matter of going into my collection and picking out a fragrance whenever I want to wear something, and that can be a super expensive fragrance or a super affordable fragrance. I really don't differentiate. So the fact that I am choosing these fragrances constantly really says a lot about their the quality of the juice, the fragrances themselves, like the profiles. Like I love these three perfumes specifically. Of course, I really like all the Snif fragrances that I just mentioned. Of course, I'm going to be very upfront with you about what fragrances I wear the most. I think all these fragrances are terrific options depending on your preferences. But like I said, whenever I make the decision to wear a certain perfume, I have all my fragrances in one place. I go in and I choose the fragrance I want to wear, and it doesn't have to be a super expensive one. It doesn't have to be a super affordable one. It just has to be a scent that I genuinely want to wear that day. And the fact that I'm choosing these fragrances, like these top three especially, over and over again really speaks to the quality of the juice, the scent profiles themselves, the way that these are so unique and interesting. So yeah, definitely love these fragrances. I like all of them, but I'm always going to be upfront with you about what fragrances I wear the most, and these are three of my personal favorites as well. I do want to give an honorable mention to two Snif fragrances that I don't have in my collection, but I do think that these are worth a sniff, pun intended. So the first is Snif's Soda Snob. So this is a perfume that came out in their secret menu. So let me show you. These fragrances, the ones that look like this and this, these are from their secret menu line. So these are fragrances I think that are available online only. They're supposed to be more like hyper realistic, gourmand, experimental perfumes. And Soda Snob has notes of fizzy lime, cinnamon, secret cola accord, jasmine, caramel, and vanilla. To be quite honest with you, when I saw this fragrance, I just thought it would smell like straight up like Coca-Cola. And it does like smell kind of like that fizzy Coca-Cola in the opening, but then the dry down gets really like complex and kind of like not boozy in an alcoholic sense, but like boozy kind of like in a almost like a fine fragrance masculine way. That one's worth trying. Obviously I can't speak to it in detail because I don't have it. I haven't tried it multiple times, but my first impressions of that were really positive, and I was actually surprised because I was not expecting to like that one as much. Another perfume that surprised me was Heal the Way. Now, this is a perfume that objectively looks like it would smell great anyway. It's like a vanilla woody scent, but it also has the note of pistachio in here, and for me, like, I'm not always a fan of pistachio in fragrances, so I didn't have high expectations for this perfume, which is why I didn't initially request it when I was asking for like a few fragrances to start off with. But I happened to smell it at Scent Explorer, and I was very impressed. Like, you don't smell the pistachio accord that you smell in all the other pistachio fragrances when it comes to this one. It's done in a very unique way. The vanilla here is something that I really enjoyed. I also really liked the Palo Santo interpretation here. So I think that this is a really good fragrance. I can't speak to it in like massive detail because I haven't tried it as much, but those are some two honorable mentions that I do think are worth checking out from Snif, or at least getting in like a travel spray. But yeah, that's it for this video. That's my comprehensive overview on all the Snif fragrances that I have tried slash added to my collection. Let me know, are there any fragrances in this video that you were surprised about? Are there any perfumes that you think I should get my nose on? Are there any fragrances that you really want to try after watching this video? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a chat about it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.